Hi everybody, welcome to Caketastic Cakes. It's Jen and I'm going to show you today how to make an ender dragon from Minecraft. Alright, we're going to start with black, surprisingly enough, right? I'm using my two thick pieces of wood that I got there. They're maybe half an inch tall or so, and I'm going to cut out a rectangle. The rectangle is going to be a little fatter than I really want it to be because I want the dragon's body a little taller. And since my little wooden dowels aren't that tall, I just smush in the sides, as you can see that I'm doing right there with my fondant smoothers. Yes. And now I'm going to make his tail. You take the gum paste. I rolled it out a little thinner than it originally was. And I'm going to create kind of a wedge shape out of it. You're going to see it's going to be thinner on one end and thicker on the other, just like that. You see that? Did you see it? And I'm using a piece of lollipop stick. Shove it in the tail. Don't shove too hard because then you'll mess up the shape, which you're probably going to do anyway because it's hard to knot. And then shove it into the body. And then you're going to use your fondant spreaders again and fix all the mistakes that you made because you squished and pushed too hard. Yeah, like that. Okay, using the same size thickness as the tail, I'm going to make his neck. I made it, you saw I compared it to the tail. It's probably about half the length. This lollipop stick, though, is going to go all the way through it, so there's some coming up the top and the bottom. And use a little bit of water, shove it into the front end of the body. And then you're going to cut the head out, and the head is going to be a square. Again, it's the same thickness as the tail, maybe a little bit more, actually. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter, as long as it looks good. And yeah, so you got your head on the one side. I'm going to cut his muzzle out, so I pressed it down even thinner. Cut kind of a little rectangle out of it. And you see it's very mushy, so I have to kind of fix the shape a little bit. Use a little water, stick it on there, and then let them set. I let these guys set overnight after I cleaned up the edges and everything some more. And that's what I'm with the next day. Okay, so shove that head on there. It might be a little tight because it is dry, but it'll still be okay. Alright, so now we're going to do the front feet. My ender dragon, I had to ship him in the mail, so he couldn't be all stretched out and spread out. I wanted him kind of compact, so he's kind of sitting like he's looking on, sitting on the edge of a cliff somewhere in the ender. I don't know. You know what I mean. Yeah, two little rectangles, stick them on the front like his little dragon paws are sitting there. This gray, roll out nice and thin. You see I cut kind of a tapered rectangle there. Going to go down the back of his tail. It's also going to go down his neck and his back, but we'll get there. And then I'm going to use the knife and make imprints on it to create kind of like the little ridges that go down the back of his tail and then his back and neck too. Careful you don't cut all the way through because that's just a pain when that happens. And like I said, we're going down his back, the same idea, line it up, same thickness as the rest, but this just stays straight the whole time. Segment it, make them a good size. They don't have to be real close together. And yeah, put two little squares on top for his horns, and he's looking good, looking like an ender dragon. This is purple, rolled it out really thin, stuck to my glass surface there a little bit. I'm going to make two squares out of it, two flat little squares for his eyes. And I'm oh so carefully placing them. And yeah, that's it. This black, I want to say I used my the rollers, the wooden dowels that I use for stirring paint, those things I've got, to roll it out, two equal sizes of rectangle. You see I'm using a larger circle cutter there. Cut a wedge out the one side, use the same piece to measure it, so you cut a wedge out the other. And then I have a smaller circle. I'm going to cut that size right there, same on the other side, and then in closer to the center. And you can see the two edges at the bottom and then the outer edge are kind of fat. You're going to want that for now, so leave that alone. You've got to have some kind of, a thicker surface to attach the wings. You can see the water that I did along the outside of the wings. And I'm just making a stripe of the same gray. I rolled it thinner this time though, but it's the same gray as his back and his horns. Just outlining his wings. As you can see there, trim off the extra. And yeah, that's all you have to do. Do it on both edges, both wings. Make sure you do it opposites like that. You don't need two right wings or two left wings. And then in the center, make a V so that the webbing comes down to each of those little points that we've got. Set them aside overnight, just like that. You see how I curved them too. I didn't mention that before. Sorry about that. But I did bend them up a little bit. And yeah, you're going to, if you want, like I said before, trim off that edge wing, that top, edge of the wing if it's too thick, or you can pinch it, doesn't matter. leave the bottom thick, but that's how it's going to be placed on the wings. So you're going to put them aside overnight. The next day, take a little ball of black, squish it in between the two, stick them together, and boom, Ender Dragon. Check out my other Minecraft videos. Hopefully you'll like and subscribe because you're kind like that. And thank you for watching Caketastic Cakes.